Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to analyze your mock exam papers. Also, I hope that you find it worth it. So first of all, I'll analyze the part A and then B2. I'm just mainly focused on a number of questions, so most of you have fallen into the trap. And then I'll analyze the article, so that's it for part A. So first of all, part A. The question 1. So as you can see over here, why I didn't give students marks, because some of you missed that difference. So make sure that the diverse, the difference, they are the keywords. So that's the purpose. So later on when I analyze the articles, I hope it helps. So over there it says that purpose of line 1 to 4. So what's the point to list all of this? What are you talking about? I don't understand that word. What you said just now sounds so hip. Where does the word visualization come from? It's just words, pretend to be intelligent. So here they are used widely and correctly. I think they're okay. So all these have different kinds of attitudes. This one totally negative. They think that people using these buzzwords just pretend to be intelligent, so that's negative. This one is neutral, they are okay. This one just feel interested, you have no idea what you're talking about. So all this are telling you the different attitudes or diverse comments. So the keywords different is everything. And then the next thing is about what does the phrase constantly entering our popular lexicon. So if you don't understand the meaning of lexicon, then it would cause you a trouble. Lexicon, or what does the phrase? This phrase suggests about the use of buzzwords. So it suggests that be used commonly. So you see, everyday is an adjective over here. So everyday, it's commonly used. That's the key. The more used, the more common it is. But remember what I said, whenever you see the word however, the key idea is coming. Few realize where they actually originate from. Okay, which means that people just using it. People use it every day on a regular basis, but no one deals with the origins, and no one cares about, because it's so natural, it's far so common. So that's the message. And so by comparison, the commonly used, and also no one knows about the origin. By this comparison, and then you know the daily use is the key, or commonly used is the key. Okay, one possible reason why the writer lists a spectrum of dictionary definitions of buzzwords in paragraph 6. Over here, spectrum of dictionary definition of buzzwords. A stylish word or phrase in a specialized field. A trendy word or phrase that catches for a period of time, or blah 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 blah. So, a number of meanings. Particularly notable is the collection to culture at a point or period of time. Often overlooked are the professional connotations. So why needs to list the definitions, the questions? To show different users have different meanings. So it's possible. And this is why we have to highlight this one, because without it, you haven't completely answered the question. The question is asking why the writer lists it. So you have to say the writer did so to show that. Okay, the reason to do it is because that's the way. So make sure that you have to remember the skills and don't mix it up. So make sure that you know it. Whenever it talks about why, you have to say to explain or to show. And over there you see different meaning of a word or phrase, somehow sounding authoritative, technical, somehow field of study, somehow related to popular culture. So there are different meanings. Some normal, some professional. So in this sense, it has a wide range of definitions. And the keyword again, different. Different people, different definitions. Different definitions in different situations. So that's it. Assumption, line 18. So what does it mean over there? Okay, most of you get the answers, but what's the trap? Line 18, assumption means what? 16, 17, 18. Okay, the assumption causes people to think such usage must be indecent. And then what does this assumption related to indecent? Because people generally regard buzzwords are words used as slang, informal, colloquial language, or even crude or vulgar language. 低俗啊 So over here there are 4 examples: A, B, C, and D, vulgar. And some of you just copy the first 3. But let me remind you one more time, you definitely should copy keywords, particularly when the keywords less than a line, then you have to copy them. Play safe. And over there, don't just copy half. If you know that you have to copy, it's crystal clear that you copy the whole line. If something more than a line, then you have to be careful whether you have to copy all. And usually you need not copy everything if it's more than a line. Get it? Whenever you can copy, usually a line, then copy it. More than a line, be wise. Don't copy everything. 13. Let me see. Okay. Well, it's about paragraph 10. And use one word. I don't think this time anyone filled in more than one word. Okay, paragraph 10. Over here it says that you help prune complicated concepts. So definitely because of the word, you know, complicated. So if you say help prune, well, the natural guess should be help simplify it. So after preposition, oops. So after preposition in, we use gerund, pruning or simplifying. Make it, we don't say easy. Quite a lot of you write down easy. You can only say easier. So easy is a short adjective. So that's why when it comes to comparatives, you use er. Now we have more. Then you have to give me something longer than easy. It should be understandable to everyone. And then the simpler the better. You don't need to give us a very detailed explanations. So which means the elaborations or explanations of concept or idea. This one, quite a lot of you mix it up. So this which is describing what? Maybe I put it which often the flow. So what's the trouble is that you people, you wrongly place which. Quite a lot of you mix it up. You put which, you tune it in this way, and then you think that these verbs should come after when ideas are simplified. In conversations and writing which, then it should facilitate the flow. Then totally wrong, because now the which is underneath. It is not after this first key clause. When I say this is the clause 1, then suppose it should be the most important clause. And then the second one, less important. So remember, whenever you see the first clause, it should be the most important one. And now, particularly, which is put after the less important one. So in this sense, this second part is describing redundancy only. So only disrupts is the answer. It talks about unnecessary redundancy only often disrupts the flow of ideas. Get it? Not facilitate. So make sure that don't wrongly place which whenever you see which over there. So I find that more than half of you are not careful enough. Maybe you are not good at using relative clauses, but I hope this time by replacing which in front of you literally, and you understand what's going wrong. It can be a very serious problem if you misplace which. Finally, maybe one more questions and then we can analyze the article. The writer's attitude to the buzzwords positive, negative, neutral or negative. So according to the article, it's not negative, tends to be positive, or sometimes there are certain negative view on it, but generally should be all positive. So that's the easiest way. So positive, you can see he, himself or herself also using lots of buzzwords, so that's a kind of evidence. Neutral, as I said, sometimes he holds some negative feedback on buzzwords, but sometimes he highlights the strengths of buzzwords. So then, this sense neutral. When we deal with reading, you better spend a few minutes to scan everything to get the whole picture first. Then make sure that you won't just focus on a few lines. So if you have time, definitely you should scan fast, and then you should scan the questions. Once you finish, let's say, it should not be just scanning, it's skimming. Then you can read very carefully. So now, if we try to redo our whole process, so we know the keywords over there is the buzzwords. Okay, because we talk about buzz, and at least paragraph 2, you see buzzwords again, and somehow another paragraph, buzzwords again, and from time to time you see the change of topics. The writer not just using buzzwords but jargons, some great technical terms but so empty words only. 一啲跨太空嘅説話，一啲玩弄學術字眼、浮誇學術詞彙，係我嚟拋你嘅啫。So we call it jargon. It is uncountable. I learned it in university, but now you learn it in Form 6, and that's good. Okay. So, and then we go in depth, and then we will take a look at page 2 later. So, over there we also talk about paragraph. Long ago we analyzed it already. So all these 3 lines are just the attitudes. Different people have different views on buzzwords. Some neutral, some find it negative, pretend to be intelligent, just using jargon we talk about. Okay, now. So constantly entering a popular lexicon. so we will use it on a very commonly regular basis. People do not care about its origin, despite individual differences. Concomitant with certain developments in society. Even you don't know what concomitant is, but you know the emergency of buzzwords again. And then certain development in society. So in this sense, well, you don't have the luxury to highlight like I do, highlight that much. But if possible, you can use one highlighter and different types of markers or shorthands, remarks. So it's about development in society. Why technological and economical? Why not historical? Let's check it out. The reason is that over there we can see social. So social, the answer is given already. So two words left is technological, the advent of the internet. So buzzwords, they do emerge because of the advent of the internet, but you can only fill in one word. So which means that you have to combine all this advent of the internet into technological factor. And the next one, historical or economical. Over there it does have history, but the trouble is that it means that only generation X, it means those alienated youths for different generations. So whenever you like to describe those youths, they're so rebellious, so alienated, we use generation X to describe them throughout times. And then it doesn't really match that factor. It's not historical at all. Unless in different historical times, buzzwords have different meanings than historical, but over there it just talks about youths only. So over here is a sidetracker. Instead, next one is about money. Whenever it talks about in times of inflation, so people like to use the word offshoring to find cheaper labor. And this one may make a much stronger sense, because the first one, we were talking about development, but over there when you talk about the teens, not really the historical development over there, but the technological development, yes, and also the economical development as well, to find cheaper labor. That's a spectrum of dictionary definitions. So now later on you see, first we talk about in paragraph 5, it talks about, or it can be paragraph 2, but anyway, we just follow the number, paragraph 5. It talks about the 3 factors contribute to the development of buzzwords, and then paragraph 6, the dictionary definitions of buzzwords. Sometimes used in a specialized field, sometimes to impress or persuade others, sometimes make it so authoritative or technical, vogue term, etc., etc. And later on there's a shift of topic, the misconception. Right after the definition of buzzwords. So the people, they regard it just simply slangs, informal language, or vulgar language. And I told you, if you need to copy, you better copy everything. And then paragraph 8, majority. And then moving on deeper and deeper, that is another topic shift. After talking about the misconception, what about some misconception or trends people deliberately forming so? Just like doing in the marketing world. Okay, where people are drowned in a sea of buzzwords. Every day, through the rise of advertisements, we can see different kinds of buzzwords. Why? To generate hype. If you don't know hype, and then we keep on reading, imagine no one talk about an upcoming product or service. So, which means the hype is making people talk about upcoming product and service. So that's the meaning, hype. So be careful whenever next time you don't know any words, you keep on reading, and then you can guess the right answer. So no company could survive in this cutthroat competition. So don't copy wrongly. It's explained to you why we have buzzwords, not because of the cutthroat competition, but we have to generate hype, or the hype is to make sure people talk about the new products. Then you can survive in this highly competitive world. Okay, so later on, it's not shifting the topics anymore, but back to its core jargon to impress others. So if you remember different definitions, paragraph 6, it seems that the writer is trying to pause one by one. If you think that it's going to impress, if you think that it's going to use in a specialized marketing field, stop there and then explain it a bit. So after talking about the marketing world, now he's talking about using buzzwords or jargon to impress others, make them sound more intelligent, professional and chic. That means fashionable. It may be true because marketing and doing business simply comprise those who want by any means to list customers by the nose. So just want to get your money, that's the purpose. So they don't care how many buzzwords they're going to make or they need to make. The point is, you pay and you buy the products, they win. So you have to create that trend. So one of the questions is about sarcastic, 好諷刺嘅，好嘲諷。Why? The question is about. So remember, whenever it's but, focus on it. Though, if it's put at the end of the sentence, it doesn't mean 雖然. When it's put at the end of the sentence, it means but, which means that but. This may sound a little bit sarcastic. And the question asking you, what does it mean sarcastic over here? So it's really about these 3 lines. Did not present themselves as being capable of creating a trend, who would believe them and buy their products and services? So in this sense, they can be just great talker, and then the products they sell may not be really useful or that useful or related to the client. So that's sarcastic. Okay, let's check it out. Alright, jargon. So carry on. Help prune. So the function of jargon, not just impress, but also help prune it. We analyzed it already, and now the topic shifts to jargon buzzwords and impression buzzwords. Trendy words or phrases. Any reason, desire for acceptance. Okay, even in politics. So now you see the writer just trying to analyze the use of buzzwords in different fields and the reasons behind. So now over there, simplify complicated ideas. Yes. Impression buzzwords. Speakers do not care whether they understand. They just want to confuse you, that's the point. blatch out impression buzzwords without fully grasping their meaning. Yeah, over there it just says if you don't understand this line, fine, because this line just repeating the first TS again. They don't care whether you understand or not, because even the user, they don't fully understand, maybe they just say it. For the purpose of what? Conforming with peers. Making a kind of impression, that's the point. It's not making you to understand, it's making you to get a feel. So again, marketing bubbling. So what you can see is about the emotions, the feeling. So over here, you don't need to get into the details if you don't understand. But the point is that you have to know is playing your heart, playing your emotions, playing your heart and playing your emotions. That's impression buzzwords. And then deep down in our hearts, humans desire for acceptance. So maybe sometimes you're forced to use buzzwords because you would like to show that you belong to certain groups, particularly no matter you are teenagers or adults. You have to use certain language if you would like to belong to certain groups. No one likes to lag behind or to be so old-fashioned. That's why you have to keep on updating your buzzwords. Yeah, otherwise, it's something like but, right? So we are still using Shakespearean language, but now I think it's after 500 years. Language has been evolving. So people like to use the word gay, right? So in 1950s, gay was a positive word, just about happy. I'm so gay today, so that means I'm so happy. But now, when you say that you're so gay, definitely that's another meaning. Okay, again, deliberately confuse others, and this one, exactly related to impression buzzwords. You don't really care whether listeners understand, just confuse you. So the presidents, the prime ministers, senior officers, like to use those political jargons. Authoritative. So remember definitions of paragraph 6. The writer is just using each definition to write a paragraph or two. Finally, two schools of thoughts. 即係總係有對立面嘅。Opponents think that buzzwords do not communicate anything meaningful or concrete. So even it means the origin of words, history of words. Have I used it in my life? Never. So even we don't understand the meaning of words, but we can still guess the meaning.
Etymological.
So even we don't know etymologically, but we can still know that it means the sound of people talking excitedly. Oh, however, again, another school of people believe that it accords with fundamental principle of language to express what they want to say in a particular situation. So one side thinks that buzzwords are meaningless, another side believes that that's the purpose of buzzwords, just the fun of language, just the beauty of language. And okay, finally buzzwords and something, because that's words, so that's why and something evil, nor necessarily signify. So definitely it is not negative, but positive or neutral, that's the question. So I have also become one of the followers of this craze. This is one of the evidence that the writer is on the side of buzzwords. Alright, that's the end. Well, maybe it's quite boring, but topic is boring. That's why.